I know it's been a while. I know I promised this video a while ago, but I was caught up with things. I finally finished my personal computer build and it's time to benchmark it, but before I begin I would like to announce a few things. Over the coming weeks and months I'll be uploading a multitude of content. Some of my plans include graphics card reviews from a strict budget oriented perspective, more budget builds and challenges for like can I build a good value gaming PC under £100, a budget builds guide, how to find deals, secure them, etc, that kind of shit, more parts hauls, so more last week I bought, reviewing some mobile phones for gaming purposes. I think it's a topic which some tech reviewers actually fail to overlook, and maybe even a sort of weekly podcast, you know. Also, I have a Twitch. I'm kind of sweaty at this. What's wrong with me? I'm so disabled. I stream on it sometimes. It's somewhat entertaining. Hold on, let me do something. Let me just do a funny. Hey 6ix9ine, come do me. Oh, I can't. I'm in prison. I'm under 16. I stream on my PC and my PS4. I stream VR and other things. Check it out. Twitch.tv/ScratchumTF2. Link will be in the description. I'll be uploading some highlights from my shitty streams to my other channel, Scratchum. I'll link that in the description as well. Welcome back to my main PC build, and we have picked up where we left off with the benchmarks and final words. Just a quick refresher, in this build we have an i5-4440 clocked at 3.1 GHz, an MSI Afterburner GTX 770 2GB graphics card, 12GB of DDR3 RAM clocked at 1333 MHz, a 240GB PNY CS900 SSD, a 1TB Seagate hard drive, and other features include a Blu-ray disc drive of course, and for performance reasons RGB lighting, which has 7 color modes, which gives us 7 times more FPS, as we all know. Let's begin with the gaming benchmarks, starting off with Apex Legends, the fairly dead flop of a battle royale which people still play for some reason, so it's safe to include the benchmark. With the high settings with low textures, as I apparently don't have enough budget for it. Fuck off. We achieved an average of 56 FPS, which factors into the account the colossal frame drops that come with landing. So on the ground we achieved around 80 FPS most of the time. In combat we dropped to 45 or so, and this was a heavy fight. So 1% lows were 32, and on 0.1% lows were 19 FPS. Which actually sounds worse than it was. This game is very playable on this machine, so like there's no problems whatsoever. Next, another battle royale which was dead for about 3 days and came back as something alright, but I was still too afraid to touch it. This was recorded some time ago. With epic settings and all round, we achieved an average of 66 FPS with 1% lows, 1% lows of 33 and a 0.1% low of 3. Which was probably an epic lag moment when the game was loading in, so this is an anomaly. Ignore it. Besides, we did land in the most intensive area, which was Neo Tilted or whatever it was called back then, but the good frame times here did not save my shitty skills. Next up, CSGO with competitive settings, which is low everything, high shadows. On my new monitor, which admittedly is 1280x1024, I get it, Respawn Entertainment did tell me that I have a very low budget. Ha, which got us an average of 192 FPS and 1% lows. I have to say that properly every time. And 1% lows of 89 FPS and a 0.1% low of 11, which was presumably when we were loading in. To benchmarks, where we achieved an average of 46 FPS stressing the GPU for 1 minute in Fairmark, and an average of 92 FPS in Cinebench R15, as in the 4D benchmark. We got a CPU score of 463 in the render test. Onto streaming, where I streamed CSGO with a 2500 kilobit a second bitrate, streaming at 60 FPS, and it was very smooth with no frame drops whatsoever. The same goes for Left 4 Dead 2, which used the same bitrate and 60 FPS with the highest settings, and it maintained a lovely smooth FPS. I bet I could try things more intensive than this, but I digress. In video editing with Sony Vegas Pro 16, everything was as smooth as a baby's skin and rendering a 9-minute video in 1080p at 30 FPS with the Intel QSV encoder. We got it rendered in 3 minutes 57 seconds. Quite speedy. I also watched WALL-E using the computer's Blu-ray drive, and it was smooth and clear as hell. So with everything logged and covered, I guess my final remarks are all that's to be said now. I am very, very happy with this build. It costed me next to nothing for what the PC is essentially worth, and it's a fantastic PC for any task which I need to throw at it. Who could have known that if you had £150 and a little bit of luck, you could throw together one of the best price performance builds which can sort of handle any of today's titles. I certainly didn't 2 years ago, with a bit of ingenuity and money, I managed to get it built. So, with that said, thank you all for watching. I'll see you all in the next video. Goodbye.